Indeed, the military that perpetrated the genocide actually felt emboldened to overthrow the civilian authorities again. Myanmar's original agent in this case, the former state councillor, Madam Aung San Suu Kyi, has been imprisoned by the military junta, deprived of her liberty since she was swept from power by the same generals who continue to rule the country. Mr. President, esteemed judges, it is an honor to address you today as the agent of the Republic of the Gambia in our dispute with the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. 6 years ago, the Gambia filed its application with this court, seeking to hold Myanmar accountable for its violations of the Genocide Convention. In January 2020, you ordered provisional measures and did so unanimously. We are now finally in the merits hearing, after which the court will decide whether Myanmar is responsible for acts of genocide against the Rohingya group, as alleged by the Gambia. As you will hear over the next 3 weeks, and in particular over the next 4 days, in deciding to bring this case, the Gambia acted on the basis of most careful reflection and assessment of the facts. We did not bring this case lightly. We brought this case after reviewing credible reports of the most brutal and vicious violations imaginable inflicted upon a vulnerable group that had been dehumanized and persecuted for many years. We received and carefully examined the meticulous reports of the United Nations fact-finding mission, dispatched by the UN Human Rights Council. We also examined reports issued by the reputable international human rights organizations, which sounded the alarm on the genocide of the Rohingya unfolding in northern Rakhine State. Those credible reports from diverse and independent sources left no doubt in our minds that Myanmar had to be held accountable for its violations of the Genocide Convention. And so we acted. Genocide Convention is the first multilateral human rights treaty that has been adopted. But its words will be meaningless unless they are acted upon and enforced. It is up to the state parties to the Genocide Convention to invoke affirmatively its provisions in order to truly liberate mankind from the odious scourge that is the crime of genocide. That is why the Gambia invoked Article 9 of the Convention and brought its dispute with Myanmar to this honorable court. The Gambia stands tall in the international community of states and takes pride in promoting and protecting human rights, including international accountability for genocide and other atrocity crimes. We do this out of sense of responsibility, grounded in the history of which we too suffered under a military junta. Over 2 decades of brutal dictatorship have taught us that we must use our moral voice in condemnation of oppression, of crimes against individuals and of groups, wherever and whenever they occur. It is also taught to us that accountability is imperative. Otherwise, impunity will ensure that such crimes are repeated over and over. In present times, these issues are more important than ever. And the court's role is more important than ever as a bastion for the rule of law. Sadly, Myanmar appears to be trapped in a cycle of atrocities and impunities. Nobody has been held responsible for the crimes against the Rohingya. Indeed, the military that perpetrated the genocide actually felt emboldened to overthrow the civilian authorities again. Myanmar's original agent in this case, the former state councillor, Madam Aung San Suu Kyi, has been imprisoned by the military junta, deprived of her liberty since she was swept from power by the same generals who continue to rule the country. and Senior General Min Aung, who commanded the military during the genocide, now rules over Myanmar as the leader of the junta. Predictably, violence and atrocities have spread throughout the country, affecting Myanmar nationals of all ethnic groups. Mr. President, while Gambia is the only applicant state, we are not alone in this cause for justice and accountability. Indeed, as the General Assembly stated in 1946, genocide shocks the conscience of mankind and results in great losses to humanity. And this is because humanity, our shared humanity, is made of various groups protected under the Convention. This is why we stand before you with full backing and support of 57 member organizations of Islamic cooperation. We also stand in solidarity with 11 intervening states from across the world who have urged the court to interpret the Convention in a meaningful way in the manner advanced by the Gambia. We stand too with the support of dozens of international human rights organizations and defenders whose investigations and reports have corroborated the findings of the UN fact-finding mission and its successor, the International Investigative Mechanism for Myanmar. And most importantly, we stand together with and for the Rohingya survivors of Myanmar genocide. This group of Myanmar nationals have endured decades of appalling persecution and years of dehumanizing propaganda. This culminated in the savage genocidal clearance operations of 2016 and 2017, which were followed by continued genocidal policies meant to erase their existence in Myanmar. We are proud that, once again, Gambia's delegation includes several members of the Rohingya community, including those who have traveled from the refugee camps in Bangladesh to be with us at this hearing. I invite them to stand so their presence may be acknowledged. Thank you.